Hello and welcome to today's pillar strength class. My name is Connor. Today we are going to just be kind of doing some general pillar strength stuff. Not too much of a, an acute focus today. We're going to do some movements that you recognize, some that might be kind of new and unfamiliar. We'll implement some isometric exercises and some dynamic. So we are going to be doing 2 cycles of 4 exercises today. And then we'll have, a minute break in between and we'll get right into it. So what you'll need is a medicine ball, a water, and a yoga mat or something else soft to sit or lay on. If you don't have a medicine ball at home, that's perfectly fine. You can use, like a small set of weights that you might have, like a dumbbell. You could even use like a water jug or, I don't even know, like just something that is pretty small that you're not gonna have to worry about losing balance with it, like as opposed to like a barbell, just something more concentrated and small, like a medicine ball. All right, so we'll get right into it to save some time here. So for our warm up, we'll start with our neck. As always, look up to the ceiling above you, hands on front of your forehead, apply a little bit of pressure, and work through that pressure until you're looking down. All right, hands on the back of your head, look back up towards the ceiling against that pressure. All right, ear down to your shoulder, hand on the side of the head, arcing around, opposite direction. All right, now chin over the shoulder, hand on the side of the head, rotate to the other side. Switch hands, opposite direction. All right, now we're not going to do the boring old trunk twist today. What we're going to do is downward dog kickback. So if you're familiar with yoga, some of the movements and positions of today's workout are going to be a little bit more familiar than maybe for other people. But we're going to get down to the downward dog position. So we're going to hinge at the hips. I'm going to put my hands at the floor in front of me, walk them out until I'm comfortably with my hands, about underneath my shoulders, feet spread about shoulder width apart. And then we should look kind of just like, an up arrow. All right. And here, we're just going to kick one leg back at a time and loosen our hips up. First, we'll kick them straight back. And then after a couple seconds here, we'll start kicking them to the side. All right, so go ahead and start that now. Just open them out to the side. Try to use your core to keep your balance here. That'll also get your core warmed up. The real power center of our pillar. All right, once you've done that a couple times, just bring your knees up like a mountain climber. Try to loosen our hips up in all the directions that we're going to use them. Okay. Now you can walk yourself back up until you're standing up straight. Next, we're going to do lunging thoracic spine openers. So you can either take a step out or a step back. Just get down into that lunge position. And actually, it's okay if you let your knee touch the ground here. We're less focused on getting that lunge strength in our legs, more focused on what we're going to do afterwards. So I have my left knee out forward. What I'm going to do is extend my hand in front of that knee, the same side, put my other hand behind me, and then rotate until my right arm is pointing over my left knee. And then I'll rotate backwards, or back to where I started. So my left arm is in front of my left knee now, and then we'll go back. And just keep this rotation nice and under control. Just get a couple more reps in. I think that was 4 for me, so I'll do 1 more for make it 5. Okay, so now I'll switch legs. Now my right leg is going to be pointing out in front of me. I'll start with my right arm out in front of the right leg, left arm back, and then rotate. Now you should be trying to activate those leg muscles so you can keep your stability here. The leg muscles in your core are going to allow you to do this and focus on just moving your upper to middle back, or middle to upper back. All right, I'm going to do 1 more to make it 5. Okay. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to be doing 2 cycles, 1 minute rest in between. The very first thing that we're going to do, we're actually going to be starting on the ground. So if you want, join me, and we're going to get down into something like what you might recognize as like a butterfly position. But instead of putting the base of our feet together, we're going to put them out in front of us. So our heels are about shoulder width apart. All right. So it doesn't really matter how close your feet are to your body. We're not stretching. We're going to be working through an isometric strength exercise here. So you're going to put your hands on the insides of your ankles, elbows, try to push them down on your knees. And then when we start this exercise, you're going to try to go against the resistance of your elbows and try to close your knees together towards your midline. The whole time you're going to be applying outward pressure with your elbows, resisting that movement. All right, and then we're going to switch so your hands are on the outside of your knees. And you're going to do the opposite. You're going to try to make your knees touch the ground and push your knees in with your hands. We don't have a lot of movement, so your knees aren't going to be able to budge much. It's more important that you use that pressure with your hands on the outer part. After that, I think most of our exercises are going to flow pretty well. Just wanted to briefly introduce that one. And we can get started. So if you want to get ready, grab a drink of water. I know I will. Then we'll get started in a minute. Okay. So in about 10 seconds, we'll get started here. We're going to start with our hands on the insides of our ankles, applying that pressure down and trying to close our knees to the midline. On your marks, get set, and go. Apply that pressure, try to close those legs. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. This is an isometric strength exercise. So even though you're not moving, you're still making those muscles fire as long as you're doing this right, as long as you're creating that opposition. All right, we have 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. All right, now put your hands on the outside of your knees. Try to close them to the midline while pushing your knees out to put them on the ground. Get going. You have 30 seconds. If you need to take a breath for a second, I know this can be kind of hard depending on how much pressure you're using, but try to keep it going. Try to scale your pressure to a point where it's definitely working you, but you're not killing yourself. You're able to keep going for the full 30 seconds and get the most out of it. 10 seconds left. You can do it. So this is really working on those hip abductor and adductor muscles and our rotation capabilities. Okay. All right, we're done with that exercise. Next, we're going to stand right up on our feet. We're going to grab the medicine ball or whatever weight that we have or we're going to use. Put that between our feet. We're going to go down into a squat position. So feet shoulder width apart, chest up, and then sink those hips down to, about parallel if you can. We're going to grab the medicine ball. We're going to start at our chest, push it out, go over to one side, and then arc it over our body like this. And we're going to keep arcing back and forth. All right, do this for 30 seconds. Ready, and go. 30 seconds of this. Try to keep that squat form nice and stable this whole time. This is really a full body exercise, and try to work to get that elevation on the weight, because that's really going to help those back muscles get incorporated, challenge your core, and even perfect our squat by keeping us in good posture. All right, we got 5 seconds left. That's it. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1, done. Okie dokie. Next one. So again, if you have any experience with yoga, you'll know what a pigeon pose is. So we'll go down on the ground very slowly and safely. We'll step out with, on our knees while we're standing up straight on our knees. Bring one foot in front like you're going to step into a lunge. And then with that leg in front of you, drop your ankle and knee to the ground and lean forward on top of it so that you can control your weight of your upper body. The more that you can sink into that hip and extend that straight leg back, the deeper stretch you'll feel in those glutes. All right, and the whole time, still try to stay upright on your hands. That should be underneath your shoulders, about shoulder width apart. And then in this position, we're going to reach through to the same side that our front leg is pointing. So my right leg is up, it's pointing to my left. So I will reach through with my right hand into the left. All right, just like that. And we'll keep doing this for about 30 seconds. So get started. However deeply you can reach through, whatever works for you. And it's okay to bend that straight arm still. It's okay to bend that to get a little bit more length. This is really going to do a lot to open up not only your chest, but get your thoracic spine a little more mobile. I really like this because it really incorporates the entire pillar. All right, 10 seconds left, and then we'll switch sides. When you reach through, you can almost guide the back of your hand on the ground. That might allow a little bit more depth. All right, 3, 2, 1, done. All right, we'll switch. So you can bring that back leg back up, go back into the standing kneel, or kneeling upright, and then bring the other leg up like you're going to step into a lunge. Drop that leg down, brace yourself in front of it. That's what we call the pigeon pose. And then with your hands underneath the shoulders, start reaching through. 30 seconds. Go. If you could touch that shoulder on the ground, that's awesome. That's a lot of mobility in your thoracic spine. If not, that's okay. Just do it to whatever reach that you can make it. 10 seconds left. Keep going continuously and at a pace that you can maintain. We got one more, and then we're going to get a rest here. 3, 2, 1, done. All right. Last exercise in this cycle is going to be opening and closing the gate. So you can do this while you're standing or on all fours. So I'll show you on all fours. I think I've shown you how to open and close the gate while we're standing, but I'll do the standing one next. I'll change my angle a little bit. So in order to open and close the gate, we'll start in our quadruped position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. I'm going to start with my left leg. I'll kick it out and then back out, and then in front of us and down. Just like that. And then I'll switch to my right side. So we'll bring it up, out, back, out, front of us up, and then down. And we'll switch sides. Keep that going for 30 seconds. Up, out, back, out, up, down. Up, out, back, out, up, down. Up, out, back, out, up, down. We'll do one more side, one more time on the other side. Okay, finish up that rep, and then we get a 1-minute break here. And we'll move into the second cycle. One more round of these exercises. If you need to catch a breath, that's great. Make sure you get some water in you. I feel like that was a little challenging in my core there. I don't know about you, but I think that the squat arc raises were probably the most challenging one, and the pigeon reaches were probably the one that felt the best. I think it's important to key on to that kind of stuff when you do workouts, especially when you try new exercises, because not only will it help you acquire things and learn what you like and dislike, but you start to get more in tune with the different muscles that it incorporates. And the more that we can create those mind-muscle connections, the better. The more control we're gonna have over our movement. All right, we'll give it 15 more seconds, and then we'll breeze through this next cycle because you guys got this. You're pros already. You already got the experience with the movements. And what time is it? It's let me see. All right, perfect. So we got 15 minutes left. Oh wait, no, not 15. We got, oh man, we only got 5 minutes left. Nah, we got this. We can do this in 5 minutes. All right, we are going to do a cool down and a stretch period after this though, so stick around for that hopefully. All right, so we'll start with the hip abductions and adductions. So we'll get down in that butterfly-like position, heels out in front of our shoulders, and apply that pressure down and try to close your knees to the midline. 30 seconds. Ready, begin. Breathe through this. Make sure you are applying some pressure there though, because the intensity of these types of isometric exercises are completely what you make it out to be. A lot of the time we rely on the challenge of gravity, but this is completely self-inflicted challenge. You got to be a little ambitious here to get something out of it. All right, 3, 2, 1, and switch. Hands on the outside of the knees. Try to close them to the ground and push with your hands into the midline. Make sure to challenge yourself. All right, we got 15 seconds left. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next exercise, standing up. We're going to do the squatting arc raises with the medicine ball or whatever weight that you have. All right, I would say get down into the squat position first, then grab the weight, bring it up to our chest, extend it out. So I started on my left side first, so I'll start on my right this time. And we're gonna get the arc going. 30 seconds. Ready, begin. Whatever pace you can maintain, but definitely try to challenge yourself. I think this is the most intense portion of this exercise or this workout. So, you know, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. All right, 15 seconds left. The more you open up your range of motion here, the more challenge it's going to put on your core stabilizers. So the higher you reach, the harder it's going to be. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Next, we're going to do the pigeon pose reach through. So down on my standing kneel, step out for the lunge. Pull the ankle in front of that knee. Stand yourself up with your hands and then reach through for 30 seconds. Ready? Begin. My left leg is up, so I'm reaching through with my left arm over to my right side. You're reaching with the same side arm of the leg that's in front of you. The further you sink that back leg back, the more of a stretch here you'll get in your hips. 15 seconds left. It's okay to bend that arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, switch sides. Standing kneel. Step out for the lunge. Ankle on the ground in front of you. Hands underneath your shoulders. Sink that back leg back. And then we'll start reaching. 30 seconds and begin. All right, 15 seconds left. You got it. Slightly less than 15. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, last exercise we're going to do is opening and closing the gate. You can do this on all fours in your quadruped position. I'm going to do it standing this time because I think it's a little bit more challenge for your core. So standing upright, I'm going to start with my right leg. I'm going to pull it up, rotate out, kick it back, bring it back out, bring it in front of you, then put it down. Switch legs. Doing this for 30 seconds. Out, back, out, in front, down. If you need to hold on to something to keep your balance, it's a little more challenging than when we're in the quadruped position. That's perfectly fine. That's still good. We're working on the muscles. The balance is definitely an accessory benefit, but we're working for our muscles first and the joint. Range of motion is everything. And sometimes, you know, people think any compensation you make with your body is unhealthy. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes your body knows what to do for the healthiest movement pattern. And sometimes you gotta listen to it. Like if you see me, I'm completely compensating with my upper body's weight to keep my balance. And that's all right, because that's what you do in real life. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. All right. That's it for our exercise portion. We're gonna do a quick cool down. So we're going to do full body plank openers. So if you can get down on the ground, whether you do this on a knee or your feet, doesn't really matter, but we're going to get in a nice plank position where we have straight line from shoulders to hips to knees to ankles, hands underneath our shoulders, shoulder width apart. And then we're going to reach through with our left leg and open up our right arm towards the ceiling. Full body plank openers, okay? Get that down to that plank position. Then we'll reach or kick through that right leg, open up our left arm. All right, back to the plank position. We'll do this one more time. Kick that left leg through, open the right arm, back down to the plank. All right, kick that right leg through, open up the left arm, back into the plank. You can bring your knees in front of you now. We've done that one. And then we're just going to do one downward dog into a cobra pose. So we'll stand up, hinge at the hips, put your hands in front of your feet, walk them out until you're in that downward dog position that we talked about before. And then shift your weight so your hips come closer to your hands. We're going to bring it to the ground nice and slowly and under control and get into a cobra pose. You can untuck those toes and really try to feel that stretch in your core and the fronts of your legs, fronts of your hips. Open up that chest to the wall in front of you. We'll hold this for a second. You should still have some core engagement here. Okay, good. That's it for the cool down. For some stretching, we're just going to do some side lunge groin stretches. You can do this even on your knees. So I'm just going to extend one leg outward. I'll shift my hips to one side. We're going to stretch in the glutes. So I'm shifting my hips towards the left. That's my weight. Even though my shoulders are over here, I'm moving my hips that way. So I'm getting a stretch over on this side of my leg, in the groin. All right, I'm going to switch sides. The hips are shifting that way. If you're not too comfortable on your knees, that's all right. You can do this while standing. It's just it was more convenient for me on my knees, but standing, it would just look like this. And this is probably more what you're used to seeing anyway. You might even get a better stretch out of it. All right, and then we're going to do a runner stretch here. So we're going to extend leg, we're going to get into a lunge, but we're not going to quite get down into those 90 degrees. We're just going to extend, sink our hips into our front leg, and then arch or try to pull your shoulders back, and you'll feel a nice stretch in the front of that back leg. Make sure you breathe here. Use that core for some stability, just so you don't fall over. You can hold on to something, that's fine too. All right, we'll switch sides. My right leg is out, now my left leg is back. I'll sink my hips towards that front leg. Call it the runner stretch because runners rely so heavily on our hip flexors. Okie dokie. Well, nice job. I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you still feel a little worked up, your heart rate's still high, try to walk around a little bit, make sure you get a nice, easy cool down. Thank you.